In this video, we will look at box area method of factoring trinomials ax squared plus bx plus c. And I believe that this method is easier to follow and more reliable compared to other methods we usually see. So we will look at this example. So we start by drawing a box. So in the first box, we put the first term, this one, x squared goes here. And in the last box here, we put -3, this term, that goes here. Now for these two boxes, we need to figure out using a table or X. Some people like to use X and some like to use table. So basically we need to look at two numbers whose product is AC, which in this case is 1 times -3, so -3, and whose sum is B, which is -2 in this case. So look for two numbers such that product is AC, -3, and sum is B, which is -2. So to look for those two numbers, we can create a chart like this one. So we are looking at product -3. What are the ways of getting product -3? So we can have -1 and 3 to get product -3. We can have -3 and 1 to get product -3. So these are all the ways, but we need to get sum of -2. So if you add these two, we get 2. So that's not good. If you add these two, we get -2. So this one is good. So those two numbers we are looking for are -3 and 1. That means on the table, we can have -3x here, and we can have x over here, or 1x, which I can just say just x. All right, so now we look at the first row, or we can look at the first column. So let's look at the first row. So what is the highest common factor between x squared and -3x? So x is the highest common factor between these two. Now with that x, we should be able to fill out the rest. So x times what number is x squared? X times x is x squared. X times what will give us -3x? X times -3 will give us -3x. And similarly, once we have x over here, x times what will give us x? So that will be 1. And -3, the last one, we can just make sure we did that correctly. -3 times 1 will give us -3. So that looks good. So basically, again, going back, the first step is to decide this number, which is a common factor of these two. Then once you have that, we figure out this number based on x times what will give us this one. And we figure out that one based on x times what will give us -3x. Then we take that x times what will give us x. So that put down here. -3 times what will give us -3. So which we already have over here as 1. So these are the factors, x minus 3 and x plus 1. And we are done. So let's look at the next example. We have 2x squared minus 7x plus 6. So we can start by creating a table again. Like this one. And we put the first term over here and the constant term here. We need to figure out what goes here and what goes over here. For that, we can use this X diagram. So we need the product AC, which in this case is 2 times 6, which is 12. And we need the sum B, which in this case is -7. We need to figure out two numbers whose product is 12 and whose sum is -7. So let's look at some combinations of having product 12. So one way, of course, is 12 times 1, but that doesn't give us sum -7 because when you add these two, you get 13. So this doesn't work. The other one is -12 times -1. That does give us negative, but 13. But we need -7, so this also doesn't work. The other one is 6 times 2, which gives us some 8. That doesn't work. -6 times -2, that gives us some -8. That doesn't work. 3 times 4, which gives us some 7, but we need -7. So this also doesn't work. -3 times -4, which does give us some -7. So that one works. We can have -3 here and -4 over here. So we can split this -7 as -3x and -4x. We put them here. So once we have this, we can look at the first row. So what is the highest common factor we can take out from 2x squared and -3x? Between 2 and 3, there is nothing common. Between x squared and x, we can have x. So we put x over there. Now we ask x times what will give us 2x squared. So x times 2x is 2x squared. Next we ask x times what will give us -3x. So -3, because x times -3 is -3x. Now we can look at this 2x. 2x times what will give us -4x. So 2x times -2 will give us -4x, because we need -4 here. We already have x, so -2 over here. And the last one we can check to see sure we did it correctly. So -3 times -2 is 6, which is good. So we have the factors 2x minus 3 and x minus 2. So we are done with this example. Let's look at the next one now. So here we have 4x squared minus 10x plus 6. So we again start by drawing a box. And we put ax squared here, the first term, and we put the last term, 6 over here. We need to figure out what goes here and what goes over here. So for that, we see that we need the product AC, which is 24 in this case. 4 times 6 is 24. And we need the sum B, which is -10 in this case. So we need two numbers that have product 24 and sum -10. So let's look at some ways of splitting 24. One way, of course, is 24 and 1. But 24 plus 1 is 25, so that doesn't work. We need the sum to be -10. The other way is -4 and -1. Let's first list all of them and see which one will work. The other way is 12 times 2, -12 times -2. So all these pairs give us product 24. The next one can be 8 times 3, -8 times -3. 6 times 4, -6 times -4. I think these are all possibilities to get product 24. So let's see which one over here in this list will give us sum -10. -24 minus 1 is -25. So this one doesn't work. 12 plus 2 is 14. That one doesn't work. -12 minus 2 is -14. Doesn't work. 8 plus 3 is 11, doesn't work. -8 minus 3 is -11, that doesn't work. 6 plus 4 is 10, but we need -10, so this one doesn't work. -6 minus 4 is -10, so this one will work. So we can put -6x here because -6, and because of that -4, we can put -4x here. Or you could put -6x here and -4x over there. All right, so now we can look at the first row between 4x squared and -6x. What is the highest common factor? Between 4 and -6, we have 2. Between x squared and x, we have x. So 2x is the highest common factor between these two. Now, if for some reason figuring out the highest common factor between 4x squared and negative 6x look difficult to you, we could use a different column or row. Like we could use negative 6x and 6, this column, or we could use negative 4x and 6, this row. Maybe I can do this problem again by selecting a different row or column after we are done with this one. So for now, let's proceed with 2x. So 2x times what will give us 4x squared? That goes over here. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. So we put 2x here. 2x times negative 3 gives negative 6x. So we put negative 3 over here. Now we look at this 2x. 2x times negative 2 will give us negative 4x. So that negative 2 goes over here. And the last one is just checking. Negative 3 times negative 2 is 6. So which is good. So we have the factors now. So this we can write as 2x minus 2. So this is a factor times 2x minus 3. This is another factor. If you look at this one here, we can factor out 2. So maybe we can go one step further and write that as 2 times x minus 1 if you factor out 2 and 2x minus 3. So these are the factors for the given trinomial. All right, so we are done with this example, but like I promised earlier, let's look at a different column or row instead of this first row and repeat the same process. So I'm going to erase all this here. All right, so this time we will use this column between negative 6x and 6. It's easy to see that 6 is the highest common factor. So we put 6 over here. So now we'll use this 6 to fill out rest of the parts of this table. So fill out a number here, here, and here. So we need a number over here so that that number times 6 gives us 6. So 1 must go over here because we know 6 times 1 is 6. Now using that 1, we can fill out a number over here because 1 times negative 4x is negative 4x. So we got that negative 4x over here. And using that, we can fill out a number over here. So negative 4x times negative x will give us 4x squared. So we have both the factors. Again, if we take the sides of this table, then we get factors. So we have negative 4x plus 6 as this one here, and negative x plus 1 as this one over here. But these factors here and these factors over here, they look a little different, but we can simplify the factors we just got a little bit to make them look like what we have over here earlier. So the first step, we can factor out 2 from the first factor. So you will be left with negative 2x plus 3, negative 2x plus 3 when you take out 2. And in the second one, we have negative x plus 1 as it is. And the last step, we can multiply this one with negative 1, and we can multiply this one with negative 1. So when you multiply by negative 1 and again by negative 1, you are multiplying by just 1. But that will give us, when you multiply this one by negative 1, we get 2x minus 3. And when you multiply this one by negative 1, you get x minus 1, which is exactly what we have over here. These are the factors. 2x minus 3, and x minus 1. Again, this is all we have put together in this video. But if you like to see more examples, or if you like to see how to factor a different looking trinomial, please feel free to write them in the comment, and we would be happy to make videos for you. Thank you for watching. Hope it was helpful. See you in our next videos.